Welcome. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Fentuo Tahiru. Fentuo, it's been a lovely weekend of football, sports, whatever. And we're here for the next 90 minutes to replay all of that action for you and put perspective on them. In England, Chelsea's unbeaten runners ended. United were shocked at Old Trafford. Liverpool were held. Arsenal, they completely blessed over Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby. There was also derby joy for Lazio in Italy. Ansu Fati is back and scoring for Barcelona. Routine victories, of course, for the likes of Bayern Munich. But elsewhere in boxing, Anthony Joshua's reign as champion is over. Oleksandr Usyk completely obliterating him at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll play that back for you. And also, it was a dramatic weekend of F1 action in Sochi when it looked like Lando Norris was going to see out a first ever career victory. The rain came down, and so did Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton securing his record 100th victory in F1 history. We are here to replay all of the action for you, but the show is live and interactive, of course. You can join us using the numbers on your screen. WhatsApp +233 550 585 832. It's how you can send me a message. I'll read them for you, as many of them as possible. Also, you can get in touch with me on Twitter. Use the hashtag Scorecard. I retweet all of your messages and then read as many of them as possible. My name is Fentuo Tahiru. Fentuo. You're welcome aboard. We'll take a short break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Fentuo Tahiru. Fentuo, thank you for joining us from wherever you did, from across the continent. If you're watching us online, you're probably watching on citytvonline.com. If a friend of yours is struggling to watch the show because they're on the move, just tell them to go to citytvonline.com and stream the show from there. City with an I, C-I-T-I. Not TY. So citytvonline.com. You can stream the show from there. Let me introduce my guest. Christopher Nimley is here. So is Daniel Koranteng. Chris, how are you?
I'm good.
How are you?
This man, when you ask somebody how is the person I'm good. Then are you in me to find out whether I'm not good or not? No, I'm not bad for I'm good. I'm good. Just that I had planned something beautiful, but Man United messed it up. So I will hold it back. There are better times ahead. As for that planting, it will happen. It's just a matter of time. So it will happen.
Daniel, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good.
You had a good weekend, didn't you?
Well, of course I did.
We'll talk about his
from
weekend
Friday.
Later. I know. No,
Saturday.
Let's start showing highlights.
He just came to work.
But you know that I'm all for you on that, isn't it? I'm all for you on that.
Let's show some highlights.
When you do those things, it makes me happy. So I'm all for you on that. You know that.
It's okay.
I'm supporting my friend.
It was a wonderful sporting weekend. I totally enjoyed myself. From football to boxing to F1 earlier today. It was incredible. And we're here to replay all of it for you. We'll begin at Stamford Bridge. That was where unbeaten Chelsea hosted Manchester City, champions of Europe, against the champions of England. In the end, only one team asserted their dominance, and that was Man City. Man City dominating at Stamford Bridge. And listen, these highlights don't even do justice to it. Mendy saved twice, also from Jack Grealish. Both of them should have been goals, really, in my opinion. Christopher, you said here last week that Man City, Bayern Munich, you mentioned somebody else, Man United, were all capable of beating this Chelsea team.
Yeah.
And you said they were going to beat them this weekend.
Exactly.
They didn't just beat them, they absolutely pummeled them. The scoreline doesn't do justice to the performance.
When you asked how I'm feeling, I said I'm good.
Yeah.
You could tell that my mood was a bit subdued.
I know.
This should have been a minimum of Ayoko. Chelsea,
what is Ayoko?
4. Minimum.
Chelsea should have taken 4.
What? You watched the game? Didn't you watch the game? You did. Look, like I said last week, they are playing good. But there's a way to beat this Chelsea team. And Man City showed the way to beat them.
From a tactical point of view, how did they do it?
Look, yes. I completely disagree with Toto Alote when he
Thomas Tuchel?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody watching the show know that that's his nickname, Toto Alote. They know for a matter of fact.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, his selection on the day, especially in the middle, didn't allow the Chelsea team to believe that they can go on the attack and punish Man City.
Okay.
Because if you have Jorginho, Kovacic, and N'Golo Kante, and you are playing wing-backs, making the natural ball winners in the team, as many as what? 9 of them.
Yeah.
And having 2 guys up front who technically are not the best, but they will have to feed on services from those guys in the middle. And you don't have any proper number 10 or proper ball juggler.
Someone to connect the midfield.
Someone to connect the midfield to Romelu Lukaku and Timo Werner. They will be as useless as they were yesterday in that game. So I blame the manager for, I don't know whether he was so much afraid.
So it was selection issue.
Selection issue. That's what the system, that's what he's been doing all day.
Yeah.
We've known that he will not change because it is working. Why will you attempt to fix something that is not broken?
Namely,
So
why didn't it work? Because it was that starting 11.
It was a starting 11.
That played against Spurs in the second half.
Yes.
And completely destroyed them. So why didn't it work against City?
No, this is
because you remember it was what's his name, Mason Mount, who started against Spurs.
Yes.
It wasn't working.
Yes.
Then he took him out and brought Kante. So it was
isn't
Kante,
that,
Jorginho.
look, go back against Spurs. It isn't that it wasn't working. No. It was Mason Mount's inability,
of course, to provide
the final ball. It was working.
But the point I'm making is still valid. That Kante came in, and those 3,
yes,
it worked.
But
why didn't it work against City?
This is why it didn't work. Against a team like Man City, who were always going to dominate that round object, it would have ensured that system wouldn't work. Look at what Pep did. He brought the natural DM that we all said he should have done in that Champions League final. And look at the 2 guys flanking the natural DM, Kevin De Bruyne,
proper ball players,
and Phil Foden. These 2 guys will always enjoy
Bernardo
the ball. And then Bernardo Silva,
it was
as well
Bernardo
as
and De Bruyne supporting Rodri.
Yes. So you could clearly see that these are guys who are very comfortable with the ball at feet.
Yeah.
And one thing that Man City did so tactically, and I believe it was brilliant, look, it is the best I have seen them do in years, was the counter press to win back the ball of Chelsea. Anytime Chelsea won it and they wanted to quickly
start an attack,
do that counter transition, Man City made sure that they will always do the counter press. They anticipated better if the first press was bypassed. The next guys always anticipated that from here we are going here. So if you bypass us here, we'll stop you there. And it was brilliant. For me, Rodri, I think he's the best I've seen of him.
No, that was certainly his best game for Man City.
I have seen of him
doubt.
Since he came to Man City.
He was winning balls off Kante.
That was shocking. My own N'Golo Kante got substituted when Chelsea needed him the most.
Right.
The moment I saw that substitution, I said, the floodgates had opened. Come on, let's go bombard them. Make sure you bombard them and create. And the chances were there. And this £100 million boy, he's not serious, eh? Jack Grealish. What?
He wasted a lot of chances.
When you have a big Mendy just in front of you with his legs just wide open, he's got problem closing that leg. Just put the ball through him, not make the man into the back of the. Then you are rather trying to chip him. Sure, but there, look at him. He's big, and he comes with his legs wide open like that.
The ball went through his arm.
Just put the ball through his legs. And let's see, because in between his legs are goods that are very heavy, will not allow him to close himself.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What I'm saying is that there are two. The legs is
not
that.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. That Grealish is not serious.
Yeah.
If he's serious, you'll be agreeing to what I'm saying.
But at least the first attempt was a good save from Mendy. The one he tried at far post.
But on record,
there
will be more of this. Because I told you last week, you and my brother here.
But in the league, there's no team capable of playing the ball as well as Man City. Everyone knows this.
You don't need to dominate Chelsea to beat them. Now you want to change the argument, isn't it?
No, not really. Let me take Daniel's point. Daniel, I mean, he did a very good tactical analysis of where Chelsea got it wrong. From a Man City point of view, this was a statement victory and a quick reminder of how good they are.
Yeah, it was. But look, you cannot overlook the fact that it was helped by Thomas Tuchel's selection issues. And he himself admitted it. And I think the most glaring one was Kante. Apparently Kante was ill. And we could all tell. I honestly don't like giving excuses, but Manchester City were helped because Kante was like a 50% in goal of Kante on the pitch.
He wasn't himself.
Just before you continue, in that Champions League final, Chelsea, they were helped because Pep didn't play a DM, period. Continue.
That's true, but we admitted that. It doesn't mean that.
But he also had
it doesn't mean that Chelsea didn't do their part.
In the two previous games, he had played one DM and two DMs and lost both before the Champions League final.
So N'Golo Kante has played both. He lost. Doesn't matter. Same. Continue.
That's something that we cannot overlook. But of course, Manchester City also did their part. They had 3 games previously with this same team under this same manager where they had lost, 3 high-profile games where they had lost, and they were obviously not going to make it a 4th. So you do your homework and you come out and you make sure that this time around you get it right. And of course, coach has said they did their part. They showed up on the day, not just in terms of tactics, but in terms of body language also and motivation.
Attitude.
You could tell that they were not going to leave Stamford Bridge without those 3 points, and that's how badly they wanted it. And of course, on the flip side also, I also have to touch on the Chelsea issue. Not just the N'Golo Kante selection, but I think the front 2 was also a bit of a problem. I felt if you were going for those 3 very defensive
like that,
midfielders in N'Golo Kante, Kovacic and Kante, who don't really give much. Kai Havertz. Because you saw Kai Havertz roll against Arsenal, you saw it against Liverpool, where he had the ability to drop deep and then connect the midfield to the attack. He can do that. So if you had put Kai Havertz there, maybe in terms of transition, Chelsea could have been much better. Okay. But for the Timo Werner and Lukaku, they were literally waiting for somebody to hit the ball to them. And the 3 guys in the midfield just don't have the ability to do that. And another key thing is also what Coach mentioned, Manchester City's counter-pressing. Now, when you have a team that is counter-pressing you as well as Man City are doing, you need a technical midfielder who is able to dish out a pass as quickly as possible. Somebody like a Fabregas. He knows he doesn't have time on the ball. So those 3 seconds that he gets it, he's already located a pass and he's hitting it into Timo Werner or Lukaku. And Chelsea didn't have anybody like that in their midfield. So Thomas Tuchel said it. He takes the blame for it and it was his fault. But at the same time, you also have to give Pep credit for doing his work and getting the 3 points.
Absolutely. Man City were brilliant yesterday. They did everything right. The attitude of the players, everything was absolutely spot on. But I agree with you guys completely. I thought Mason Mount would have been perfect for this game. Mostly because I felt like every time Chelsea won the ball back, the reason they couldn't progress the ball was because they couldn't find a link. And it had to be Timo Werner dropping deep. Timo Werner is not good with his feet.
He just wants to run.
Exactly.
Let him run.
Whereas Mason Mount is brilliant with those turns.
Yes. I honestly think I wouldn't have gone for Mason Mount.
I would have gone for Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz at the top. But if you wanted to replace any of those 3, I think this was a game where you should have put Saul in. Why? Because of the familiarity with Rodri. He understood Rodri. And Saul also has that technical ability. Play him the furthest of the 3, and he will succeed. Not the deepest like what he did against Aston Villa. And he's somebody who can transition the play. I think, look, Tuchel got it wrong, but at the same time, if you are not doing your part, your opponent also has to do their part, and Pep did that.
All right, so far this season, Chelsea have conceded 2 goals, one from Jesus, the other from Mohamed. That's very interesting indeed. All right, guys, let's move it on. At the same time Chelsea were losing, Man United were losing at Old Trafford to Aston Villa. It was a dramatic game. The last few minutes, United got a penalty. Bruno Fernandes missed. Someone said the ball landed in Adabraka in his house. Wherever the ball landed, we don't know. What matters is United, yet again, losing at Old Trafford. This time for the first time to Aston Villa since 2009. Bruno Fernandes, wow. When Ronaldo is on the pitch, why is Fernandes taking penalties? Everyone's question. Nimley, you were saying off air that you saw the ball.
The ball landed in my house. I have the ball at Ashie. Do you have a problem with that? The ball is with me, man. I saw the ball.
Nimley, this one, let me start with Daniel.
You have started with me.
Okay, go on. I know you are bending. Go on, Nimley. Take it away.
You started with the
away. What happened?
Look, United didn't even deserve to draw the game. Should have lost the game on the day, and I was happy they did. Simply because the team shape, anytime they went on the attack, looked so disjointed. Very disjointed. You couldn't see any pattern from here to there, from here. There was nothing of the sort.
Vibes.
And again, I just don't understand. Maybe because of that, for the very first time, I'm going to admit that Ole should be sacked.
Wait, what?
For the very first time, I'm going to admit that for as long as he keeps playing Fred ahead of Van der Beek, Ole should be sacked.
So you're saying that from this moment onwards, you are Ole out?
No. When somebody speaks,
you understand.
You should listen.
You said, but he's playing him.
So,
he has played him, sir. So what do you need to be convinced?
So for all you know, he will stop playing him after this show.
Oh, God.
You know the show is worldwide. He's watching.
So what the first time you have complained about Fred?
This is the first emphatic time. You understand? I don't know what is wrong with this man. What I'm saying is, for as long as he keeps playing Fred ahead of Van der Beek, look, Van der Beek is a fantastic player. And I believe that if he puts Van der Beek with McTominay and Pogba and Bruno and Sancho or Ronaldo, come on, man, he would do far better than what Fred is doing. Because Fred hardly passes the ball forward. It's either square or he's using his right foot to flip-flap on the ball and then he loses it. Then we are on the defensive again. Yesterday, what took my breath away was when he saw the need to substitute McTominay rather than Fred, who was on a yellow card and would not be in a position to do any marking. He didn't do that. Matic was on the bench. It got to a time all United needed was somebody who could progress the ball.
Simple.
Push the ball forward. You don't tell me that Matic, after playing 90 minutes in midweek, cannot come and do a 20 minutes against Aston Villa. It was a clear indication of a coach sleeping on the job. And McPherson, the most experienced coach of the coaches in the
United setup,
also sat there, and then Solskjaer would come and then have a little tete-a-tete with him, and then the same thing kept going on. And Mason Greenwood, I think he needs to be spoken to. You don't have Ronaldo ahead of you and decide that you are Greenwood, so you won't pass the ball. You are what? Greenwood. Do you know the one standing by you? The all-time leading goal scorer in world football?
The one that annoyed me most was the one with Bruno Fernandes. Because you can't onto your weaker foot.
Begging, just put the ball, he slaps the ball into an empty net.
Yeah. Because I don't blame strikers for trying to take shots, but you cut onto your weaker foot.
You need to be smart.
It makes sense, exactly.
You need to be smart. You are a young lad. Yes, he's a very potent goal scorer, but he needs to be smart. And I think that, of course, he will learn from his mistake. Going forward, they will definitely polish. Look, this league, I have said it, it will go down to the wire. Nobody will go unbeaten. Even Liverpool, next week Sunday, they will taste their first defeat.
Against Man City?
Of course. Of course. I know my boss,
you are not a prophet.
No, Bernard is watching, but if you can concede 3 against Brentford, you should be able to concede a minimum of 2 or 3 against Man City. You understand? So I expect them to lose their first game next week. So everybody will lose once, at least before the international break. You understand? So that when we come back, we will see our smoothness level. Then we take off again.
Okay.
And that is where C-Roll will begin to cement his legendary status. Are you doubting Ronaldo?
Please, I have not said anything. I said a running.
You don't say that when I'm talking about Ronaldo. You don't do that. Don't do that. When I'm talking about Ronaldo, you just have to...
I should pay attention.
Pay attention and confirm what I'm saying. I say after the international break, he will score more goals because the team will be transformed.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes,
but look,
please.
Credit be given to Aston Villa. Yesterday, what they did, the commitment, the sort of defensive solidity that they showed was super.
Yeah.
Don't forget, since Man United loaned them Transebe, he's been in the middle of a back 3 or a back 5. Okay. Yesterday, he was not there. The chap they brought to replace him was the chap who scored the winning goal. It tells you of the depth they have in that department. And I was impressed with the manner. There were times where United could not even progress the ball.
Yeah.
United, look, high pressing game from Aston Villa. Yep. And that is proper coaching. And that is why I said that the moment Solskjaer saw that in Fred and McTominay, once Fred cannot pass the ball forward, he doesn't have the physique to travel the ball. I would have done a simple substitution. Okay. Fred, come and sit down. Matic, go into that game. Yeah. And then block and drive the ball forward. That is all. Our coach couldn't see that. Yeah. For the first time, I am saying, for as long as he keeps playing Fred, he needs to be sacked.
Daniel, I'm not sure what you picked up from that game, but like Nimley said, Aston Villa definitely deserved to win. They had the better chance. United were all over the place. And when they had the opportunity to get something out of the game, they blew it.
Yeah, I have one major talking point that I want to talk about. But look, the fact of the matter is that, yes, coach is right. Man United deserved to lose the game. They were out-coached. And that is football. You have players who are playing based on instructions of a coach. They just don't go out there and play what they want to play. So when the coach gets it right, chances are that the team is going to get it right. And yesterday, Dean Smith showed that he was tactically smarter than Oleksandr Usyk on the day. My talking point and what I can't understand, I've been struggling to understand it since 12:50 yesterday. Why Cristiano Ronaldo is on a pitch and a penalty is being given to Bruno Fernandes. Now let me start. No disrespect to Bruno Fernandes. He's Manchester United's penalty taker. But let me give you a little history. Paul Pogba was Manchester United's penalty taker when Oleksandr Usyk came in. He maintained him. And Pogba scored 13 goals last season. 9 of them were from the penalty spot. He missed 2. The following season, the first game against Chelsea, Man United got a penalty. Pogba took the ball and gave it to Rashford because Rashford won the penalty. Rashford took it and scored. The following game, Man United had another penalty, and this time Pogba picked it up against Wolves and missed. And Oleksandr Usyk from that day said, Pogba, don't take penalties again. Now Marcus Rashford is the main penalty taker. A few months down the line, Man U faced Norwich. Rashford took a penalty, missed. Second penalty, he gave it to Martial. Martial missed. My point is, you are a coach, okay, and you have the ability to identify and make big calls, identify players who are good at taking spot kicks and make big calls. Even at national team level, Bruno Fernandes doesn't dare go and stand behind the penalty spot and say, I'm taking a penalty when Cristiano Ronaldo is standing there. Now, yesterday, something happened. A lot of people have seen it on social media. When the penalty happened, the Aston Villa goalkeeper got out of his pool and told Ronaldo, come and take the penalty kick. You come and take it. And see, what he was doing was essentially telling Bruno Fernandes, your boss is here. Yeah. You can't be taking a penalty kick. So what is he doing? He's getting into Bruno's head. And Bruno has never in his life taken a penalty when Cristiano Ronaldo is behind him. It's a 90th minute penalty. It's a do or die penalty. You have no business telling Bruno Fernandes to take it. And this is a caveat. When Cristiano Ronaldo is there. That is why he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's done this over and over and over and over again. And this is a huge mistake from Oleksandr. I don't care if Bruno had scored. I will still mention this. Because he's Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you get me? Lionel Messi,
been in all kinds of situations
when
before.
Lionel Messi asks up, he has the chance and he says, Neymar, take the penalty. It wasn't Neymar who took it and said, I'm going to take a penalty. Yeah. Because he's Messi. You recognize that he's around and you recognize that I have to go through him before I can take this. Cristiano Ronaldo cannot be on the pitch. And Bruno Fernandes is taking a 90th minute penalty for Manchester United. He was filled when bloated with pressure. You could see it. And trust me, if Ronaldo wasn't there, he probably would have taken his time. Yeah. But you could tell that what Martinez was doing had gotten into, and even the Man United players around could clearly see that.
And all of the time wasted around the penalty, all of those things.
If you watch Fred's body language, Cavani's body language, when they were pushing Martinez away, you could tell that this thing, it doesn't even feel right. That the guy is
you know what?
Daniel,
I agree with Daniel 100%.
Yeah, hold your horses. We have to take a very important break. It's a needed break. We will be back. We've got your messages, and Nimley is itching to say something about that situation. Don't tune away. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. We're back again on Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Fentuo Tahiru. Fentuo, we're just discussing the Manchester United defeat to Aston Villa. Before that, we showed you highlights from Stamford Bridge, when Chelsea were beaten by Manchester City. Let me read a couple of messages. Dodo Augustine says, Bruno taking a penalty while the boss is around. But only the least said about him, the better. I'm reading these messages from Twitter, of course. After that, I'll go to WhatsApp. More tweets. Duke Aiti says, Coach, please, we the Chelsea fans have been supporting you since your Ole Must Stay campaign. Please be on that road. Don't change your mind. How can you go down further? Ole Must Stay. Interesting. Annie says, that penalty really bashed Daniel Pound. I can't tell you how much you pay now. Hardcore Kofi Lord says, I've got to admit, Coach the bomb is sometimes biased, but at the same time I love him because he speaks facts and his analysis are top notch. That's all of us. Eugene says, good evening guys. Fen, please ask Coach the number of goals United were supposed to concede. More than Ayoko, or still landing is blue. Mr. Bani just says, Nimley is so funny. Mano Edin says, Chelsea fans are the most reactionary fans ever. Hey, our player of the season last season is certainly not good enough and is one of the most disliked players in the team. Wow. Bright Wachidankwa says, I'm pleading with you to allow Coach to demonstrate how Bruno kicked his penalty at the end of the show. Okay. And this one, Nida Kudaku says, Fed, please get Nimley to do the Martinez dance for us. Manasseh Mayor says, Greenwich should learn how to pass the ball sometimes. Perlo says, but why is no one talking about the early substitution Chelsea made? Because it played a part in destroying how Citi planned for the game. Anyway, we lost, and this isn't time for excuses, but time to work harder and get back to winning ways. Salim says, Bruno should receive a slap. Where has he seen someone else take a penalty with Ronaldo on the pitch? I honestly think it was disrespectful to Ronaldo. It felt weird seeing CR7 chasing the rebound, as I've never seen him do that. That's interesting. Uncle Fee says, Chelsea fans should shut up, you say. Pep began planning for this game the minute the Champions League final whistle was blown. I can confirm that is true. Actuary Aflo says, Chelsea have conceded 2 goals in the EPL this season, one from Mohamed and one from Jesus. It's Chelsea's punishment for getting rid of Moses and Abraham and bringing in Saul. That is a very good one. Bringing in Saul, that's a very good one. That is a really creative message. That's a Aflo Actuary. That was really good. That was really good. I like your biblical references. KK Bolare, it's his name on Twitter, says, Tuchel really set us up to lose the match. Why should you fix something which isn't broken? Change your formation, let us down. Chelsea still will win the league, you say. Okay. Ni Adote Thompson says, Sir Coach, you are not feeling great at all. I'm still all in. Have you changed your stance now? You seem to have the insider look. Danny, please listen to Prof. Nimley when he speaks. I always look forward to Sunday nights. Interesting. Emery says, Chelsea have conceded 2 goals this season. Okay, same joke, but obviously it seems like one man got it earlier. Sammy Kwe says, I think losing Reece James didn't help Chelsea going forward. Aspi is not a proper wing back, and I still hold that Havertz should have started ahead of Werner. The messages are there plenty, but you keep them coming. +233 550 5858 32 on WhatsApp. Also, leave me a tweet using the hashtag scorecard. I'll come back and read more messages. So keep the messages and your thoughts coming. But Nimley, briefly, you wanted to say something about the penalty situation before we move on to...
Look, we've seen great players missed penalties. We've seen Messi, we've seen Ronaldo himself, we've seen the likes of Maradona, Roberto Baggio at the World Cup stage miss penalties. Bruno Fernandes is one of the best penalty takers in the world as we speak today. The coach made his decision that Bruno would take the penalties, and then he took it. Whether Ronaldo is there or not, Bruno took the penalty and he missed. It rests on. If I'm the coach, would I change him as a penalty taker? No, I will not do that. I'll still maintain him. Because it would be so unfair unless Bruno himself realizes that, look, this is my captain at national level. When there's a penalty, he takes it. So now that he's in, Ole, let's hand over the baton to him so that he continues to take it. There has to be that, but after missing just one,
Bruno says he will continue to take.
Of course. Why should he shy away? Would you have shy away? Why should he? This is football we are talking about here. And now, let me tell you, the reason why Ronaldo himself didn't go for the ball could be because Ole has told him that Bruno is my number one, or Ronaldo himself didn't want to create a scene that, look, I have come. So now that I've come, such things are my responsibility.
No, that's not it. Ronaldo clearly didn't go because Ole has told him.
That's what I'm saying. That Ronaldo,
because he's a good professional.
That is it.
So you have to respect the order.
So you have to respect the order, and the order is Bruno. And he's the number one as we speak.
And the order is wrong.
The order is perfect.
It is wrong.
The order
it is a very wrong order.
Unless you are telling me that
if you are saying changing it to be unfair, why didn't anybody talk for Pogba when they took it away from him?
Or Rashford.
You and I, look. You and I.
When Zlatan came, nobody had to tell Pogba that Zlatan is in. The boss is in, so give it to him.
You disagree. The two of you disagree.
The fact of the matter
is,
the fact of the matter is,
he ballooned the ball to Ashley.
The fact is, we disagree. I have seen Ronaldo missed important penalties.
That is true.
This is true. This is probably the most pressure that Bruno has faced on the sport. Seriously, this is probably the most pressure Bruno has.
You want to reduce your risk as much as possible.
No, but Bruno, is it a risk?
Yes, but hold on. Yeah.
Is Bruno a risk penalty take? Sure.
No, if you have Bruno and you have Ronaldo, you need to put your best foot forward.
Look,
and for you, between Bruno and Ronaldo, your best foot forward is Bruno?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Let's move it on. Liverpool visited Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium. They were looking to take advantage of the fact that Chelsea lost, of course, and Man United also lost. In the end, they couldn't quite do it fully. It was a pulsating 3-3 draw. What an amazing game of football, Nimley.
Look, after the Man United, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Man City game, everything was set for Liverpool to open a 3-point lead. Yeah. Before the game, we all said that Liverpool they were just going to blaze aside Brentford. Although we acknowledged the fact that Brentford as a team looks very solid defensively. But when the game started, and we all saw that it was like a toe-to-toe affair, back and forth, to and fro, coming at each other. I always knew that Liverpool was going to win it. So Brentford took the lead, and I said, these guys, after taking the lead, will go back and close themselves up. They didn't do that. They opened up, Liverpool equalized, Liverpool scored, and then they came back and scored. And Liverpool scored for the third time. At that moment, the next goal would have always been very, very important. Liverpool had two very important chances, and it fell to their two most important players, one to Mohamed Salah, one to Sadio Mane. They missed both. And then I told somebody the game was going to end 3-3. Just after that, Brentford went on the other end and they scored. It is time that, one, Liverpool begin to be a bit rugged in defending. Look, all the good things have been said about Van Dijk. His personality, his presence, his anticipation. But one thing about him that I have come to realize over the years is that he doesn't fancy the physical battle.
Yeah.
Because if that, was it the second goal? Yeah, Brentford's second goal, the goal that made it 2-2. If you watch Van Dijk, his response to the ball when it hits the crossbar, this is the Liverpool equalizing goal.
Yeah.
Van Dijk's response to, or his reaction to when the ball hit the bar was one of a defender who wasn't interested in what was happening.
He lost.
He was completely lost.
Sleeping.
So it reminded me of a John Terry.
This one.
Yes, this very one. Now watch this. This is the header. The boss. Now watch him. Watch that.
He didn't even jump.
Just
twice his neck.
I'm trying to hit the ball while standing there.
When the ball hit, look at what he did. One, then he did. Look, this reminded me of a John Terry, of a Vidic, of
they would put their body everywhere.
Vincent Kompany, or a Ricardo Carvalho.
Yeah.
They would have dealt with it. They would have made sure that guy, even if he scored that goal, his mouth would be of blood. You understand? That means you are defending.
Yeah.
But look at Van Dijk. Look, if you are a Jurgen Klopp with Van Dijk's height, his body size, and his personality, Liverpool shouldn't be conceding from crosses. And look, it is time that those two fullbacks are told that they have some defensive responsibility as well. Oleksandr and Robertson. If you look at them play of late, all they are interested in is this way. Let's go forward. I don't know what sort of coaching is that.
And unfortunately, that is the template of like modern day. So because he does that, they say he's the best.
I don't think so.
You are called what? A right defender. You defend first before you go forward. If your presence is a liability to your team,
now modern day fullbacks can't get the mix right.
Yes. No. I think it has to do with coaches that are not, do I use the word sensible? If I'm coaching a team, I want specialists in every position. Specialists, not the one that he can do this a bit, he can do that a bit. No, I don't do that. I want specialists in every position. So when you say you are a right fullback, a left fullback, defensively, make sure you give me 99.9%.
I always say that for me, my template for a perfect right full back or right back is Daniel Alves.
Of course, he's the best.
He is probably the greatest
I have seen. Because defensively,
I like
solid.
Cafu. I think Cafu is brilliant.
But
Daniel Alves, what he did, and the time duration
of what he did, he lasted.
Oh, goodness me!
What?
Goodness me! And the same. I think about Ashley Cole. Because
look,
you see,
that guy is on a different level.
Yeah,
that guy is on a different level. Ashley Cole he's the greatest left back of Premier League.
You know, because usually because I don't typically see Maldini as a left back.
Of course,
because sometimes when you make the argument, people try to bring Maldini. Maldini was more
his
a luxury defender.
Yeah. But in terms of the Premier League, nobody,
no left back compares to Ashley Cole.
He had everything.
Defensively, 100%. Going forward, 100%. He was top guy.
All right, Daniel, I'm taking you to your favorite game. It happened at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal Football Club, they have won 4 matches in a row in all competitions. They hosted their North London rivals, Tottenham Hotspur, who had been in complete disarray. Conceded 3 to Chelsea, conceded 3 to... Who else was that? They lost another game, 3-0. It's in Gaston, West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
Yeah, 3-0.
Crystal Palace.
No,
Palace. Crystal Palace. They conceded 3 against Palace, conceded 3 against Chelsea. They were coming into this game against Arsenal, looking to redeem themselves. In the end, the template replayed itself. They conceded another 3 goals. All right, so Son scored eventually, but it was too little too late. Daniel, I'll give this one to you. Arsenal were brilliant. They deserve that.
Look, this is what Arsenal fans deserve.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of the scoreline, but the performance, the willingness to run, to tackle. They were feeding off the crowd's energy. They understood the assignment.
That's right.
They understood the assignments. They knew that we didn't start well. We've got 2 narrow wins. This is an opportunity to kickstart our season. Arteta got it right. Brilliant team selection. I love the attacking pattern of the team. He made use of his strongest assets in terms of going forward. Odegaard, Saka, Smith Rowe. The way they were switching it up, making it very difficult for Tottenham to pick them up. And look, Aubameyang has come alive at the right time. He also understood the assignment, dropping deep, linking up, and his pace is devastating. It looks like he's growing old, but that aspect of his game is not going down. He's very, very quick. If you watch his goal, when he flicked it, you look at the amount of time he used to quickly recover and get back into position. That is the hunger of a striker you want to see. The fact that he feels he started a move, but he wants to get at the end of that move and put the ball in the back of the net. And as I said at the beginning, this is what Arsenal fans deserve. For Tottenham Hotspur, I'm not surprised. They started the season 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
And one manager of them.
Look, honestly speaking, with Nuno, he reminds me of Poch. I don't think it doesn't make sense to me to hype up a manager when the person doesn't have tangibles. Do you get me? You don't impress me by taking a team and finishing 6th. If you want to be Tottenham Hotspur coach and be winning trophies. If you want to be managing Aston Villa and finishing in top half of the season, fine, I'll give you your credit. But for Nuno to come into the job and for talk after 3 matches of him being the guy to break, no. I did my top 8 in the season, and I didn't add these 2 teams. I still feel Arsenal will finish outside the top 8. But honestly speaking, I feel like this is a sort of performance that they should be giving the fans. You might be confused in terms of tactics, but body language and your motivation should always be high. Once fans are in the stadium, once they are there, once they are watching you, you have to give it everything. And that is something I saw in the Norwich game. Even when they were not scoring goals, remember I said it, they looked frustrated, but they were bent on getting the ball in the back of the net, and they did it. The Burnley game, they understood the assignment. They scored. They knew the threat of Burnley, so they sat back, protected their lead. And again today, what just pained me was the fact that Tottenham got a goal, because they didn't deserve a goal in this game. Right. Arsenal were very good and solid in terms of defense, and it was a sloppy goal to give away to Son Heung-min. But look, credit to Arsenal, credit to the attacking four of Saka, Odegaard, Smith-Rowe, and Aubameyang. I feel this is a sort of performance where Mikel Arteta should sit back, look at it, and maintain them. Look, it's worked. If you are going to bring in anybody who deserves to come into this game, maybe on the basis of the last two performances, Pepe comes in. But this is why you are a top team, for you to have that headache in terms of selection, but not tinker with the team. And today, this guy is out completely and you don't know why he's playing. This was a good game for us now. And funny enough, now they are level on points with Tottenham and they've overtaken them.
Nimley, touch on.
Yeah, I want to talk about Nuno Espirito. Look, again, like I said in the case of Oleksandr Usyk, I'm going to repeat this. For as long as he keep playing Dele Alli, he will get sacked.
That's true.
I agree, 100%.
He will get sacked because, look, Ali's presence alongside Ndombele is worrying the team. Ndombele should move into that number 10 role, playing high up the pitch like Jose did, so that he can influence the game better for you. But when you play him alongside Højbjerg, is that the pronunciation? Højbjerg. Højbjerg. That, you see, Ndombele is very lazy, but he's technically very, very good. He doesn't have enough energy to burn. So play him in the number 10 role, where you have two workaholics behind him, win the ball and give it to him. He's strong when he's in possession. He can dribble, he can pass. Look at Ali. He cannot even dribble one player. He cannot even pass the ball 5-10 yards.
He's paying more attention to his hair.
Rather his hair and the tattoo on his body.
Somebody said he's a Rastaman throwers too.
No, but you see me, I blame the manager. And look at the manager. You can clearly see that in the moment the game starts, after 10 minutes, 12 minutes, Arsenal in the lead. See Ali's body language. Then Nuno Espirito also sit there. Everything he's doing is that he's scratching his beard. He's scratching his beard. He's scratching his beard. I don't get that. Oh, God. We all know you are a bearded man. But once you do that, you should now be seeing the things that you have to see as a technical man and get people substituted and bring people on the pitch for them to go and impact the game. But from the way Spurs are playing, look, the best way to go is to simply make sure that Dele Alli is put on the bench. Ndombele should go to that number 10 role and make sure he pairs Højbjerg with the young boy Skip.
Yeah, that is a template.
Then he can afford to scratch his beard. Because naturally, once the template is right and the personality is right, so far, has he scored this season at all?
No.
He hasn't scored.
He's scored one goal.
No, but has he scored at all?
No, he hasn't scored in the Premier League.
He hasn't scored in the Premier League. Yeah. And that is not Harry Kane.
Interesting. Let me take the full results from the Premier League this weekend for you. There you go. So Wolves, earlier today, they got a win against Southampton. And a very important goal scored by Jimenez there for the first time since his injury. More than 300 days since then. Newcastle managed to get a draw away at Watford. West Ham scored late on, stole a win at Leeds United. Everton also beating Norwich City finally. And Leicester being held by Burnley. Not sure what's going on with Leicester there, because things don't seem to be going too great for them. Monday Night Football is between Crystal Palace and Brighton. All right, we'll take a very, very short break. But Daniel, before we go, just 30 seconds, touch on the performance of Thomas Partey.
I even forgot to comment on it.
I was telling somebody today, when you want to know how good a player is, watch the team in his absence.
Yes.
We could all see that Arsenal were lacking something in midfield. Not just here. The pundits in London, the pundits in the Premier League, they were all talking about it. And the moment he walked onto the pitch, not this game, when he made his comeback against Norwich, the moment he walked onto the pitch, he was even the guy who started the move to get that goal against Norwich. Against Burnley, brilliant. Today's game in the North London derby. And you see, that's what I love about it. The big players understanding that they are big players and understand that they cannot do anything but do their part. And he did his part in the midfield today.
Do you know what I would have done?
Arsenal won.
I made him Blackstaff captain.
I don't know. He's one of the captains.
Not I put the ban on him. No, somebody's playing Qatar. He needs to be our captain. Stop that.
All right. We'll take a very short break here on Scorecard. When we come back, we'll take you around Europe, to Spain, to Italy, to Germany. Lots of goals to show you, plus an awful lot more of your messages. And that punch that destroyed Anthony Joshua, you don't want to miss that. Welcome back. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. Let me read some messages this time from WhatsApp. Jacob from Ashalboche says, when Spurs played Chelsea last week, there was sun. He just didn't see top. Good evening. In fact, the downfall of Kane was the cause of Spurs' defeat, and I wish someone could demonstrate how Kane fell. This time, it wasn't Rudiger, even though Chelsea was also beating. Lawrence in Takrady sent that message. Abambila Ebenezer from Pusiga said, Prophet Nimley, you prophesied doom for us, the Blues, last week, and it has come to pass. I hope you are also happy. An army of sheep led by a lion defeated an army of lions led by a sheep at Old Trafford. Hi, Fentuo.
Is that your name?
Good day, Chelsea. Chelsea lost to Man City. Say good day. Chelsea lost to Man City. Is not okay. Chelsea losing to Man City is not bad because Chelsea is in a good position. And you say Man City is in a better position than Man City because if you look at the top 6 teams, Chelsea played 4 of them and got 7 points from them. Now Man City played only 1 of them, so the tertiary is still on for Chelsea. Thanks to you. Great coach for me. Jamal in Kano, Nigeria, sent that message. Coach Christopher Nimley should have bet with Daniel and Fentuo. You would have won a 3-bedroom saloon car, a 3-bedroom house, a saloon car, or a whopping 150,000. Because coach said Man City will win and Chelsea will beat Chelsea. And then you guys were arguing. Napoleon in Tumisango for peace. Who will give that house?
These men, they don't pay fees. So. These men, they don't pay fees. So they don't have nothing to give to me.
Barca may be the team struggling now, but it's the most promising team in the next 2 years to come. Those kids are super talented, and tell coach to investigate Bruno. Yeah. Fentuo and Thomas from I'm Thomas from Insawam. Chelsea make beans, United make gobe. Bruno, I want Christopher to demonstrate how Bruno took the penalty. How is he feeling now? Barca are better than United, you say. Ooh. Interesting. This one says, good evening, boss. Vinicius Jr. should stop wasting chances and be decisive in the final third for once. If Tuchel wants to win the EPL, then he should watch Kante under Ranieri and Conte. For Lukaku, he scored, but the referee didn't accept the goal. Dagla from J. Kanta sent that message. Eskin Churches in Winneba says, now that Chelsea is exposed, I hope they continue to lose. Friend, don't you think Hurricane is part of the Spurs' problems? In his absence, they won 3 in a row. I wish you well. Thank you. Cyrus Francis from Ahoy says, early season remarks. Champions League, United lost to Young Boys. Carabao Cup elimination by West Ham. Premier League first loss against Villa. I'll continue saying this. Ole is off Man U. There wouldn't be anything better. Okay, coach, are you good? You're asking. And you spell coach, you say couch. Couch.
A problem. The
Francis from Ahoy. Coach is COACH. Okay.
Couch.
Yes, it's a couch. Couch, akonya. What you put in the room, living room to sit on. That one is called the couch. COUCH. COACH is coach. All right, guys, let's move it on. More messages here, but I'll try and take as many highlights as possible, because that's why you tune into the show, of course. And this time, I'm moving you to Spain. Real Madrid took on Villareal. It was 0-0. You had one of the people, the texters there. He was complaining about Vinicius Jr. Nimley, I mean, both teams are still undefeated this season.
Yeah.
Obviously. But 0-0 result, Real Madrid wouldn't like that. In this game, I watched the game, they just didn't look like scoring.
Yeah, because of the way Villareal played.
Yep.
Villareal themselves made sure they had enough tacklers on the game. And that made it very difficult for Real Madrid. And they weren't more or less stretching the game like they would usually do. They clearly understood the quality of the opposition. And Unai Emery, don't forget, this man, he's a very good defensive tactician. Unai Emery made sure that he timed his team in a way that will ensure that Real Madrid will be denied better spaces going forward. And look, on the whole, they created the better opportunities, like ones like this. They created the better opportunity, and Courtois made some 3 world-class saves that actually kept Real in the game. You understand? And like people at Vinicius Jr., look, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. He's not a good finisher. Right. And the coaching should demand that anytime he's on those very sublime run, there should be somebody in front of him or somebody with him that he can always pass to. When he does that all the time, that is when surely Real Madrid may reap the actual benefit from his hard work.
Yeah.
But look, he's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
He's the only player, maybe alongside Kylian Mbappe, who are fancied on any 1v1 situation. He takes you on. Yeah. He will take you on quick. I imagine him against one day Nuno Cesar Azpilicueta.
But it happened twice.
No.
You are forgetting.
No, I'm saying that currently. Now. No.
Why now? Last season, you said exactly the same thing.
Alphonso Davies is coming.
No. Last season, you said the same thing.
No,
you said Vinicius Jr. against Azpilicueta.
You keep referring to last season.
But we're talking about 4 months ago.
That is last season. It's in the past. What I'm saying is...
last season, Aspi wasn't Aspi. And Vinicius wasn't Vinicius.
This is one of the Chelsea texters said that the man is not a wing back. Now he has a problem with this.
Oh, God. All right. Barcelona, they took on Levante as well. They won that game by 3-0. The good thing is that they welcome back their new number 10, Ansu Fati, who came on and scored in there. All right, so there you go. Penalty.
Wow.
Boom. Score. Daniel, talk me through this game.
Yeah. Memphis Depay. It's not just the signing. I love the fact that he's taking the responsibility at Barcelona. He understands that this is a team under rebuild. He's one of the senior-most players in the team, and he has to lead by example, and he's doing exactly that. The fact of the matter is that this Barcelona team, if they don't win the La Liga, I don't think it's too much to be read into it. They are still a team in transition. They are still a team that is building, but they have a very talented squad. And they have talented players, about 2 or 3 in each of the key positions, in defense, in midfield especially, and then at the forward position also. You look at Ansu Fati coming back in this game, and I've used the phrase understanding the assignment. Yeah. He came in after a long injury. He knows he's the number 10 at Barcelona. The guy who wore the jersey before him is the greatest ever to play in that club, Lionel Messi. Before Lionel Messi, there was Ronaldinho. So
there's pressure.
There's a lot of pressure, and the expectation is high. And he has the talent, of course. And he came in and he did a very good job. My problem with Barcelona is, of course, they have the talent, but they don't have that mentality to grind out results. And look, that will come over time. That is something that is built with time and championship teams. So, of course, look.
You see a proud father?
And look at the finish. Look at the finish. This is class.
Brilliant.
This is class. This is talent. And it's just a matter of time before he registers his name as one of the young players to be watched out for. Of course, we know his talent, but the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Haaland and things have already taken the mantle. With the number 10 jersey at Barcelona, with these sorts of performances on a consistent basis, I don't think there's any reason why he will not be rubbing shoulders with the rest of the Mbappes and Haaland. He's that talented, he's that good. But of course, as I said, time needs to be taken with this Barcelona team. I don't think we should be too harsh on judging their results and judging their performances. They're a group of young players who are building something special. And when they get together, when things begin to tick, I think they will take the world by storm.
All right, so that's the lowdown from La Liga, of course. Some other results from there. Atletico Madrid, they dropped points. Serious. Not good enough.
They lost.
They lost 1-0 to Alaves, away at Alaves. And I saw Daniel's tweet before the game when they posted a video of Thomas Partey scoring against Alaves last season. Daniel said they missed Partey. It looked like it was true because in the end, they lost that game by 1-0. Sevilla also winning 2-0 against Espanyol. Mallorca lost at home 3-2 to Osasuna, and then Sociedad also beating Elche by 1-0. As far as the standings are concerned in La Liga, Real Madrid are still top of the table with 17 points. Real Sociedad have 16 points in second. Sevilla are third with 14. Atletico Madrid have 14 as well. Rayo Vallecano have 13, and Barcelona are in 6th position with 12 points, but they have a game in hand. So if they were to win that, they go to 15 points, and that will take them to 3rd position. So Barcelona not too far off the top as far as that one is concerned. All right, let me take you to Italy. Juventus had won their first game last weekend. We're looking to make it back-to-back victories, and they did, beating Sampdoria by 3-2. All right, so Juventus surviving a late scare from their opponents there. Now, Inter Milan, they had gone on some crazy run, 18 games at home consecutively. They had won every single one of them until Atalanta came to town, and it was a cracking 2-2 draw. What a cracking game. That goal from Lautaro Martinez. What a finish. Wow. But let's move it on. Show you one more game from Serie A. This was the most anticipated game in the Serie A this weekend. It was the Rome derby between Maurizio Sarri's Lazio and Jose Mourinho's AS Roma. In the end, well, Lazio got the last laugh. They won that game by 3-2. What a visual at the end there. Maurizio Sarri and the Roma Eagle flying, soaring. But cracking game. I watched that game. It was happening around the same time that the Spurs game was also happening. It was an incredible game of football to watch. Serie A this season is really shaping up to be some... Because Napoli won and they're top.
Yeah, of course. Juve for once would come nowhere near the title, because they are not defending properly at all. Yeah. And for me, that is shocking to me, because Max Allegri's teams usually do defend very, very well. Last week, they won 3-2. This week, again, they've won 3-2. If you look at the opposition, a normal, proper Juve team will not be conceding 2 goals against those opposition.
Spezia
and no, come
Sampdoria.
on. And Sampdoria. Juve should not be conceding 2 goals, needing 3 goals to win against such opposition. So I don't see them to be in contention at all. But the proper team this season is the one that my fellow African brother, the Nigerian, is leading. Osimhen.
Napoli.
He's a beast.
He scored today.
He's a beast. And I'm worried that Ghana will go another year without winning the AFCON.
Because of Osimhen?
Actually.
No, because of Osimhen?
He's a proper number 9. We don't have
but
one.
How has he got anything to do with our AFCON?
If you want to win the AFCON, these are the teams you have to beat. You have to beat Nigeria, beat Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Senegal, Cameroon.
And you don't think we have the men?
Oh, we have the men, but whether we can select, we'll select the best players. We are waiting for the selection to come. Still no sign of it. Back to the Italian Serie A. Lautaro Martinez.
Oh, my brother.
Oh, Charlie.
My brother.
Guy.
That goal.
He's a proper player. He's a proper baller. Technically, I think he's the best.
That technique
I
is
would
not
say
easy.
striker, but he's the best player you can wish to have alongside you as a striker. Partner. He's a complete forward. He understands his role. When the strikers vacates, he knows that being the partner to the striker, he should go and fill the ball. So he's always in the box, coming on the blind side of the defenders. When he is coming, nobody sees him coming. But he's so lethal with his finishing. Look, brutally deadly. As a striker, I think he's one of the best in the business. The Italian Serie A,
It's exciting this season.
Yeah.
Napoli also beat Cagliari by 2-0. Of course, Insigne and Victor Osimhen with the goals. So that's taking them to the top of the Serie A table. They have 18 points. AC Milan also won this weekend. They have 16 points. Inter Milan have 14 in third position. And AS Roma, Jose Mourinho's AS Roma, they have 12.
Does Napoli have a game in hand?
No. I think they've won.
No, they no longer have a game in hand.
Yeah.
They've caught up. And Fiorentina, who won against Udinese this weekend, Alfred Duncan's team, he played again in that game. They have 12 points as well, same as Jose Mourinho's AS Roma. Let's move it on to Germany now and bring you some highlights from the German Bundesliga. First up, Greuther Fürth. Okay, no, in fact, before Greuther Fürth, let me show you Mönchengladbach against Dortmund. They beat Dortmund by 1-0. All right, so easy win for Bayern Munich against Greuther Fürth. Greuther Fürth has a Ghanaian actually, Hans Nunu Sape. He's a nephew of the legendary Hans Sape, but he didn't play in this game. Was on the bench, didn't come on as usual. But let's switch our attention now to some boxing. Joshua took on Usyk. His 3 titles were at stake. It was at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 70,000 people, mostly from the UK, came to watch. Ringside ticket cost $10,000, and they all came to support their man, only to see him brutally beaten. Nobody is happy, or nobody's happier than Daniel Koranteng right now. Vitaly Klitschko was there, the mayor of Kiev and brother of Vladimir, who was beaten by Joshua. The Ukrainians came and they conquered. They said he should bring the rematch to the Luzhniki State? No. The Olympic Stadium in Kiev. You should bring the rematch there. That place, they're like, we'll survive 3 rounds. Daniel, what happened to Joshua?
I'm not surprised.
He's a lazy boxer.
I'm not surprised.
Lazy or untalented?
He's lazy. He's untalented. He's not
smart.
A fraud.
He's a fraud?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's a bit too much.
No, but look,
he beat Vladimir Klitschko.
He's a product. Look,
forget
Anthony Joshua is a product of hype.
Simple. He's a product of hype.
Proper commercial hype.
Really?
They have taken Anthony and they forced him down our throats. Anthony Joshua hasn't faced any proper boxer.
He's not.
Life.
Klitschko?
Look, Klitschko was 41
when he
and tired and old. And after that fight, Klitschko retired. He was gone. And even that one was competitive. Remember that Anthony Joshua lost to Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz.
There's
no muscle in his body.
The man with the big stomach.
Hit him, Ruiz himself was shocked that he was dancing around the ring like that. Look, everybody knew that this bout, you had the advantage. You are stronger, you are bigger, you have more power. This is somebody who's moved from cruiserweights to heavyweight. What you do is make your power tell.
That's
in
all.
the first round, punch him for him to know that. Who goes into a bout like this trying to outbox a technically sound boxer in Usyk? Of course he'll school you. Of course he's going to school you. Nobody needs to tell you that. And Anthony Joshua has been fighting for too long not to know this. That is a problem. That's why I'll say that if this guy faces Wilder, look, Wilder may not technically be brilliant, but Wilder knows that he has something in his arsenal.
One punch.
His power.
Yeah.
And he'll hit you.
He's looking for what?
He will come at you. Fury knows that he can take you 12 rounds and you probably never touch his face because he's that good. So what does he do? He forces you to box with him. Those are smart boxers who understand their strengths and they use
That's how Mayweather stayed undefeated.
Of course. And you go and first of all you go and try and outbox.
If you go back to the clip when they were announcing the winner, look at Josh.
Body language.
He was still breathing heavily. Go back to the
so tired.
Go back
at the end of the clip.
If just go back when the announcement was being made as to who won the fight. Look. What? This man.
All right. In F1 as well, there was victory for Lewis Hamilton. His 100th career win in F1. He makes him the outright leader in terms of F1 victories. The closest to him, Michael Schumacher, has 91. So Lewis Hamilton, who also has the same titles as Schumacher, is Definitely, that's the point I was
He's
building
the
up to. You see some highlights there, the greatest of all time. But the race was quite dramatic towards the end because Lando Norris led for large spells of the race. Stubbornness, they called him to pit when the race were coming down. They called him 3 times. He told his race engineer to shut up. And in the end, he came back to haunt him because he was skidding, coming and change your tires because the rains are coming. He said, no, I'm good. He wasn't good in the end. So great stuff from Hamilton. Very unfortunate for McLaren's Lando Norris. Last week, they had some great luck when Hamilton and Max clashed, and then they went to win. This time around, they had it, and then they completely messed it up. But congratulations to him as well. Max finished second. Christopher, that's our show for tonight.
I wanted to give some...
Who did you want to give?
I want to behave like the Ukrainian man, and then... Joshua, he's not serious. He's not serious. He's lost all the belts to the guy.
He has 3 of them. And Wilder will face Fury.
Who wins that?
In October next
month.
Who
wins that?
Wilder wins that.
Please, we'll talk about that before the fight. That's our show for tonight. Thank you very much, Nimley, Koranteng, my directors, producers, everybody else who works on the show. Until next time, do take care of yourself and bye-bye.